Yo guys, and welcome back for a new Decklog. It has been quite some times since the last one, but I've been doing a lot of losing recently. Lost a lot with this deck particularly, but it's quite, I would say, since the beginning of the month, I did not win much. Basically, since the Relic Fest. And so I was not really in the mood to really talk about my losing stuff, but I think it's important to share the data, the complete data, and I think now thinking back about my losing and stuff, I did experiment a lot throughout the months, and yeah, I learned some stuff, so I want to share it. And I still have no proof that it's gonna work better after the modification I've done here. Uh, what you see at the moment is the updated decklist, the latest one. But I'm going through. I'm going to talk about everything I tested. So the first thing was the Yorion idea. So going to 80 cards. The thing is, I don't like playing Yorion for even though I think it's probably the best version of the deck. Maybe I don't really know if it's the best version, but I think it's a great version. But I hate playing 80 card deck in paper. I hate Commander for that. This is probably the biggest reason why I hate playing Commander. It's the deck manipulation aspect of playing 100 card. So I don't like that. I don't like shuffling my deck constantly because when you play in Yorion, what you are doing is adding more fetches and more tutor cards, and that's been working quite well. It was fine, but I don't like this aspect of deck dexterity. So just the enjoyment is lower, and I want to enjoy my games when I play in paper. So yeah, I did not like it. I did try it, but I didn't like 2-2, something like that, or 1-3. I don't remember, but it was not great. And I think I underestimated the aspect of seeing less often your key cards, your brainstorm, your ponder, your temporal mastery, your force of wills, and I think that plays quite a lot, funnily enough. And also, I did not, I did not feel that my Malabas was that much improved, even though, yeah, it, it's true that I had a lot of fetches, so I could do whatever I wanted. But adding the third tap land in the Triumph for Leyland Binding added a bit more pressure to the Malabas. And the thing is, most of the time, I don't really care about playing a tap land in my first 2 turns of the game. It's rare. It's rare. I have to do something immediately, like playing a sword, because often either I need to play around the day, so I can just play my first tap land. Hopefully, I don't get dazed and play my other land, and now I can play Sword to Plowshare. Or I need a Force of Will. So those are basically the two cards I really need in the early game, or play a Brainstorm, something like that. So yeah, Um, so yeah, I don't really care about the top lane. It's less a problem that I thought it was, and so I did go back to 60. And the other tests I did, so I did play the 80 card version, the Yorion version, and the 60 card version. I called it Turbo, in the sense that I did cut the temporal mastery to add more 4 portents. So this is similar to the list you see here, but the only win condition was a thwart. I had a 3 dress down, something like that, 3 or 4. I did cut the temporal mastery for 4 portent, and I wanted to be hyper consistent. And what I learned was that you're not that much consistent. You're just gonna flood on cantrips and basically do nothing and die. Roll over and die most of the time. Because of the 2 surveillance that are already here, you often just want to, on the first turn or the second turn, you often just want to fetch a surveillance and keep your cantrip for later, because you don't really, it's not the metagame where you are really scared about a Chalice of the Void. It's more about Vexing Bubble right now. So yeah, too much cantrip, too slow, and I was just digging into more cantrips. So adding the portents did nothing basically to the deck. Did just slow the deck and nothing else. And so yeah, I played 3 tournaments. So 2 with a 60 card version, 1 with portents, and 2 times I did not play Temporal Mastery, and I went something like 2-2 and 1-3. No, it was not 1-3. It was 3 losses and 1 draw. And what I learned is that you cannot cut Temporal Mastery. I did not think it was that good, that important to the deck, because it's a bit sneaky. Enfin, how to say that? It's sneaky. I don't know if it's the right word, but you don't really see the impact in the games, and I did try to, but you really see the impact when it's clunky and it does nothing, or where you just cycle it into doing nothing. So that you see it often, and but the card is just, this is the reason why I can get through the second phase of the game. So to me, there is 3 phases when you play a control deck. There is the phase 1, developmental stage, where you just try to survive the, I would say, the first 3 turn, first 3 land drops when you play this deck. So against combo is, hopefully you don't get comboed, and against mid range you don't get days too much, waste days too much, not being slow too much. So this is the development stage, and this is the hardest stage, because you don't have the resources to spend on cantrips and stuff like that. So you often need already to have the answers right away before, and you don't have much resources to assemble and fetch what you need, and you need to make your land drops and stuff. And after that, there's the second stage, where is the, I don't remember the name, but basically you sculpting phase, where you have access to Mystic Sanctuaries and way more resources, so you can try to spend much more mana and basically time into building the resources and building the lock. So what is the log, having enough removal, enough counter spell basically. And then there is the winning phase where you just need to end the game um, as quickly as possible, but oh, sometimes not, and I'm gonna explain that with this list. Um, so yeah, and I think temporal mastery is the key reason where this allows you to go from the sculpting phase to the winning phase where you are set up, because it gives you, when you trigger at the right time. So already a free explorer is fine in the deck. When you trigger it like that, it's fine. But when you generate like something like 3 to 4 mana. So when you play it and you already have something like 3 lands or 4 lands, it really gives you so much time, so much tempo in a game, and gives you a lot of resources to be able to just spend into either removal. So basically, if you have 3 lands, for example, you play Temporal Mastery, play a Sword to Plowshare, and then you can untap, um, and your 4 lands, and you can just play maybe, as you can see here, a Jace in an empty board, or a Hero on an empty board. So just give you the mana, and if the game goes, and when you do it and you already have a Beanstalk, I just often win the game on just that. And without this tool, well, I just don't win the game. I don't get out of the scripting phase and developmental stage, and I just die most of the time. Even though I survived the first 3 to 4 turns, I do survive them, and often I go to maybe 5, 6 turns, and then I die because I never have the time to just get out. So a good example of a game I played is I was playing against Rainmatter, the black red version, so Grizzled Blonde, and I get on the play I get it reanimated Grizzled Brand on turn 2, and I have a Beanstalk, so the game is I can fight the game, and it goes until, I don't know, we play like 10 turns, 10, 11 turns. Basically, it reanimates almost every creature in his deck. He's left with, I don't know, 5 cards in the deck, something like that. And I lose eventually. And I lose in the end because I don't find the last removal, because even though I was on 8, 9 lands, I was not out of the scripting phase yet because my opponent has so much resources, and I could not keep up without the resources. And if I had Temporal Mastery, I would have won this game easily, I think. So yeah, um, it was not. And then I won the other game, so it would have been a win instead of a draw. And there are many games like that where I think I would have just won, or against compo decks, I have a pressure with Temporal Mastery. I can just, if I do it on maybe turn 3, I can get back the Mystic Sentries, and now maybe I have Force of Will plus a Brainstorm plus the Mystic Sentry, so I have 2 Force of Will instead of 1. So many things like that. So yeah, this card in this archetype, I don't think you are allowed to cut it. And I really think now that it's core of the deck. You cannot cut it. You have to play it. Um, and yes, it sucks when you have in hand and it does nothing. It sucks when you get wastelanded and you hoped on just miracle it after. Yeah, it sucks, but it happens. So something else I wanted to talk about is that ideally the version of this deck will play, I think, 4 Mishra's Bubble. I don't really know how to find the space, but I will play the full playsets because I think just setuping Miracles with Temporal Mastery and yeah, just make the deck a bit more consistent. It's free, so you don't lose time. And I would play that if Vexing Bubble was not a card of the format. So that's a bit sad, so I cannot play it. But the cool upside, if it's an upside, is that I can play, give me 4 more slots to put stuff, to put cool stuff. So, and those 4 slots are, at the moment, the 2 Dress Down, the Jace, the Harbinger, and the Hero Titans. So the other thing is that I like to have a bit more cards that are sticky and give resources more often, I would say. I I really like Hero, but the problem is that it's quite weak to the opponent sideboard. So I just, and you only really need one most of the time. So I just only play one, mostly for the life gain and the being able to play 2 lands every turn when you start to have the lock with Mystic Sentries. It really helps and really makes life easier. So I really like the one-off here. The Jace, I want to test the Jace. I want to see, because the in this is it will be the perfect win condition in the deck. It's blue, you can pitch it to Force of Will. The 0 is a brainstorm every turn, so you can set up everything and you can start to set up maybe several temporal mastery. So this is perfect. The only downside is that, well, it's 4 mana, so it's unplayable basically. But I just want to test it, like as a, how to say that, as a, yeah, just a bad card, a cool slot where I can put it. Nobody plays Bolt, so that's the upside. And the red blasts are few and far between. There's not many red blasts, so yeah, I can try Jace maybe, and maybe I can bounce some Atraxa with that. Some Atraxa, some stuff like that. A frog. It's nice to bounce a frog if you can. But yeah, frog is not really the problem of this deck. It's pretty much a free win when you play against a frog deck. The problem are basically everything else, the combo decks that are plenty right now. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just testing Jace here. And then the last card, that's the last flex slot. Because, yeah, maybe Gaze Blessing, I can consider it as a flex slot. But I think I really like it, and it's almost core to the deck, I think. It's just too nice. It's just too nice with the Sword Loop. And it cycles easily, so it's not free, but it's almost free in the deck, and gives you almost a free win against Painter. So the last card is Harbinger of the Seas. So as you know it, I like to play many of them. I think you have to play this if you want to be competitive against Eldrazi Malabaz. And yeah, I'm just throwing one main deck right now because I'm a bit fed up to auto lose against Cloudpost, and yeah, basically Cloudpost, it's only for that. I think against Eldrazi you don't need that, but I can catch people off guard with that. if I can maybe play a Terminus and play this, and at the worst, I can just pitch it, and it's a bad win condition, but it's a win condition. I can kill people with that, so that's a bit of an upside, and it gives me a bit more space in the sideboard, and you really need that space because, well, the metagame is very diverse, and you really need specific answer for everyone, which I'm not doing that much, honestly, here, but there may be a world where the Jace transforms into one more Harbinger if the card is really good. Because I think that the Jace is a bit win more, and even though the Harbinger is do not work at all with Mystic Sanctuary's plan, and yeah, cut me off green and white, I can just think think of it as a pitch spell, a pitch blue card that I pitch, and there is not many cards I can put here that are gonna do a lot, as much as Harbinger, and give me as much win percentage against those decks. So yeah, because automatically losing the game one is quite tough. Yeah. So that's basically the changes in the main deck. So as you can see, the core is always there. 4 Lorien revealed. Don't think I want less than that. Maybe I can go to 3 and add one more land if really needed. Maybe. But I really like the 4 of here. I thought about playing a Narzet instead of the Harbinger, but I want to try the Harbinger first, because I don't think Narzet is really good right now. And I like just playing some one-offs that can auto-win games, and this is the closest to that. This is basically my Blood Moon. Yeah, and in the sideboard, I get the space now, so I can try 2 Deafening Silence and 1 Gravedigger's Cage. I'm not playing Surgical or Fairy Macabre because, well, Reanimator is a good matchup for me, and I don't really need a Graveyard 8 for this matchup. I'm quite weak to combo, and I think Deafening Silence can help me a lot here. It's not really about... it's about just slowing them enough, so I have enough turn to lock them with Mystic Sanctuaries and Force of Will. For example, against Doomsday, it's true that if they resolve a Doomsday, it's not going to do anything of much, but they have to consider the dress down, the consign to memory, and they cannot just play Thoughtseize in the same turn, Thoughtseize and the Tassa's Rocket. Way they do, so yeah. It's not for that, but it's more for before they resolve the Doomsday, just ruin them enough so they cannot Vexing Bobble and Doomsday in the same turn, or Thoughtseize plus Doomsday. And against Storm, well, it's pretty good. Against Mystic Forge combo, it's pretty good too. So it's not the craziest card, but it's just 1 mana and give me enough time against those type of deck. And the cage is for basically dredge. There is a dredge player at my local, and yeah, I just have the Gravedigger's Cage for them and for any Zenith green Zenith player. And yeah, those are my changes. So I did not test that, but I hope it's going to do better. I'm going to play that probably next week. I have a tournament this weekend, but I probably want to try something else. And this something else is, yeah, mid-range bug. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna put the visual stack here, just waiting for it to load. So it's nothing crazy. I'm gonna put mana value. I cannot name mana value. Yeah, okay. I think it just takes some time to sort them out correctly. Oh. I'm gonna refresh the page. I'm sorry, I don't know why, but my internet is a bit slow at the moment. But yeah, as you can see it, this is a beanstalk Sultai beanstalk list. A bit classic. What is happening? Oh my god. Okay. I did not expect my internet to be that bad, honestly. Okay. It's still sorted by color. Okay. Mana value, please. Yes, thank you. I don't. Yeah, I hate those arts. Okay, okay. So as you can see, this is my take on it, and as you can see, I'm playing the Tempora Mastery. I don't really know why people don't play the Tempora Mastery in the. Well, it's maybe because they just think it's bad and no one should play that card. But from my experience in the the Miracle Shell, it's I think it's one of the best combo. It adds more um, triggers to Beanstalk, and this is what this deck is lacking of triggers. For it's the hard part, honestly, finding enough cards to trigger the Beanstalk. Outside the Force of Wills and the Murktides. As you can see, I don't play any Murktides. I'm creature-wise, I'm just playing Tamio, the Frogs, 2 Bowmaster, and yeah, just hope to kill with the Bowmaster and the Psychic Frog. It's maybe not enough, but yeah, I'm trying. I'm gonna stress test that aspect of the deck. I have 2 30s. I think the 30s at the moment is really good. The format is slow enough, and you need the just disruption. And I think 30s is better than days, just because I can get it cannot get vexing mobile. So that's a huge upside, secret upside of 30s. One night spellbomb for because the format is graveyard heavy, and I don't think I have the because my remover are not exiled based like the Bant deck. I need a graveyard head to get rid of reanimation and stuff like that. And then yeah, the Beanstalk. I play so no Murktide, but instead I play 2 Seto Drift and 3 Murderous Cuts. I basically want to try my Miracle philosophy, but in a more mid-range aspect, mid-range version where I do play creatures. I play the Tamio, the Frog, and in the mana base, I'm not playing the Mystic Sanctuary, so I can have access to Wasteland, which gonna give me a better matchup against, hopefully, against Eldrazi and Cloudpost, those type of decks. I have an answer for Urza Saga, I don't need to play Dress Down, for example. Um, so, yeah, my base a bit less top land. I still have the 2 Surveillance. I think if you have if you have a lot of land and you want to land more than just a tempo deck, I really like 2 Surveillance. And then in the sideboard, 2 Carpets, 2 4 Consign, 2 Force of Negation, 1 Cage, 2 Harbinger, 2 Hydroblast. and 2 surgical extraction. I'm gonna switch the printing of this one. Classical, quite classic sideboard. Less less force of negation. The card is not that great, honestly, and if I know I need more specific answers and less generic, maybe I could do that to replace 2 force of negation for 2 hydroblast in my Bant deck. But I'm not that worried about red card, and I'm more worried about just losing to combo. And force of negation is quite good against combo because at least it's you can cast it under a Vexy Bubble. It's not impossible like a force of will, so that's a huge upside of the card. Yeah, so quite a long video, but it was quite a long time since I was playing, and I had a lot of lessons to share with you. I hope it gave you some ideas. And oh yeah, another thing. I think one more lesson I need to learn is that I really need to learn how to play the time with this deck. But sometimes you just cannot play the time for example, when I was playing against Reanimator, my long match, so I lose the first one after like a 30-40 minute games, and I was until the very end where basically the game resumed to the summary of the game. The last action was I play Lorien Reveal, and and I have 2 beanstalks, so I have 5 draws to draw a Sword to Plowshare, and I don't find it, and I die to a Natroxa that attacked me for lethal. And yeah, and the game resumed to that, and until the last action, it was competitive, and if I drew the Sword to Plowshare, I was probably winning the game. So when that happens, then I win the other game. It's quite sad to see that it was like 3 minutes left before the end of the round, and it's just impossible to finish the match in time. And I did play honestly, when I remember, I did play fast enough. Everything was fine, but yeah, the game is just long, and that's the type of game you create with this archetype. And you need to be okay with that. So you kind of need to be okay with losing, or maybe just playing one game matches. That will happen sometimes. And if I'm gonna play one game matches, I think I really need to have the temporal mastery. So at least either I lose faster, or I make sure I'm gonna win if I have 4 to 6 land and decent draws. So yeah, this the other lesson. I really need to integrate that and really play with it. And if my opponent plays slows, I'm gonna play I win the first game in 40 minutes. I'm not gonna hurry. I'm gonna. It's not stall, but I'm not gonna play fast to try to end the game in time if my opponent does not the effort to do it too. And yeah, you have to a bit metagame, play outside of the strict rule of Magic. Sometimes with the deck when taking account the time. So yeah, and that's only experience based, unfortunately. So you have to lose and play the matches and get into the weird situations. That's the unfortunate reality of not. It's not even not playing win conditions, because even if I had win conditions, it would have not change anything to that. And yeah, honestly, from my experience, playing win condition do not change the time that much of the matches. Um, so maybe I'm just gonna go back to Swart only, or Swart plus Uro, and then lose to Graveyard 8, I guess. That happens too, so yeah, yeah. That's pretty much it. Thank you for listening, and see you for our next Decklog.